Failing to investigate an out-of-specification result adequately can easily earn you a warning letter. A case study on how to avoid such unfortunate situations coming up. I'm Jan Kugel from quality.com, where we provide exciting, fun and engaging online workshops. Welcome to another episode of Letters to Avoid, a series about GMP where we examine regulatory mistakes made by companies worldwide. Those errors cost them an FDA warning letter, and this is vital that we learn from them. Today I'm going to talk about a warning letter sent to OOS Inc., a biotech company situated in the USA and specializes in ear care products. They have received unpleasant notice because they have failed to investigate an OOS properly, which they had identified during a microbiological test. The initial sample result exceeded the allowed colony-forming units for aerobic plate count. Additionally, the sample turned out to be positive for gram-negative rods. It is a critical issue because microbiological contamination of these products can cause a severe hazard to patients. What would you have done in such a case if you were a QC or a QA manager? I hope that your answer was not instructing the lab to throw away the results and repeating the test with a new sample, because that's what the company did. The retest was a pass, and the company used it to approve the release of the batch. The company didn't perform any investigation to determine the cause of the microbial contamination and conclude whether other lots could have had the same problem. But this was not the only case where the company failed to investigate an OS thoroughly. On a different occasion, the lab had found that 3 batches of eardrops failed the APC test. This time they have performed an investigation and determined that most likely there was an issue with the water. Eventually they have rejected the lots. I give them points for that. However, the company didn't get to the root cause of the problem and they didn't figure out why the water got contaminated. Additionally, it conducted no research whether other batches could have been affected by the bad water. So what mistakes has the company made that led to the warning letter? First of all, the company should have conducted an extensive root cause analysis to understand the contamination source. The microbes must have come from somewhere, right? Was part of the batch contaminated, or did the operator contaminate the sample during the sampling procedure? Either way, the company should have gotten to the bottom of the events and created adequate CAPAs to ensure that such events wouldn't happen again. Otherwise, their process will stay broken or the personnel untrained. Additionally, they should have reviewed whether the failure could have affected other batches or products. What if they used the same contaminated medium for different batches, but they didn't sample the contaminated parts? You always have to think broadly and not take such deviations lightly. But let's assume the company has investigated the OS but couldn't find the root cause. What then? Would it be okay to release the batch then? I would strongly suggest against doing that without conducting a risk analysis demonstrating that releasing the product wouldn't have any adverse effects on the consumers. Correct deviation and issue management are vital for compliance. If you want to sharpen your knowledge around the subject, check out our free webinar about deviation and issue management systems. You can register on quality.com. You will learn the best practice framework for investigation of deviations. On this note, I wish OOS Inc. the best of luck in eliminating their regulatory problems quickly and efficiently. I hope you enjoyed this episode and found it informative. Stay compliant and see you in the next one.